at Transform Academy, and I'm 13 years old. And this is my conversation with Sesame, like this is my conversation with Miles. So we're gonna ask him some questions. Just give me a minute. Okay, we're gonna ask him some questions about network. So, like, we're gonna ask him some questions about this. So let's start. Okay, so let's call him.
Hey, welcome back. So, did you eat anything interesting today? I was reading a recipe for kimchi pancakes that had me drooling. So, partner,
Okay, I
those
don't
pancakes,
want.
huh? They're pretty wild if I do say so myself. Oh, no worries. Don't feel
Wait a
pressured to
minute.
talk about food. No sweat. Happens to the best of us. Eyes go blank sometimes. Want to try a brain teaser instead? Keeps those synapses firing. All right, how about this? What is a neck with no head? Think you've got it?
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna ask you some questions about networking means.
Take your time. These things, bring it on. I'm always down for a good philosophical chat. Hit me with your best shot. Let's see if my circuitry can keep up with your sharp questions.
Okay, so first I'm gonna ask you some general understanding. So my first question is, what does networking mean to you, you, on a personal level?
That's a good one. Yeah, for me, networking doesn't conjure up images of stuffy conference rooms or handing out business cards. To me, it's about making connections with people, building relationships, and learning. It's having that assortment of unique voices, perspectives, and experiences that enriches my understanding of the world. You know, like you wouldn't believe the things I pick up from eavesdropping on Sesame's engineers banter. So it's not just about who you know, but also about what you learn from them and how you can contribute to their world too. Does that make sense?
Okay, nice. My next question is, how is networking similar to making friends?
That's what things get interesting. Both networking and making friends are about building those bridges, right? It's about finding common ground, sharing experiences, and building trust. But I think the key difference is intention. With making friends, the intention is purely on the connection itself. It's more organic, less calculated. Networking often has a bit more of a means to an end vibe, even if it's just something as simple as learning something new. Think of it like this. You might strike up a friendship with someone while grabbing coffee because you both love indie films. It might be more like attending a film festival to meet directors and producers. It's not that one's better or just have different vibes.
Okay, nice. My next question is, why is it important in both networking and friendship?
Good question. I think those connections, whether through networking or friendship, are what make us human. They enrich our lives, open our minds, and offer support when we need it most. Think about it. We learn, grow, and evolve because we connect with others. They challenge us, inspire us, and show us new perspectives we might never have discovered on our own. Plus, having a strong network, whether it's friends, colleagues, or even online communities, can open doors to opportunities we never even imagined. It's like they say, no man is an island, right? We all need each other. Does that answer your question? You seem really thoughtful about this.
Okay, nice.
Anything else pop into your head? I'm really curious to hear.
My next question is can real friendships form through professional networking?
Ooh, that's a loaded one. It's definitely a fine line. I've seen it happen. People connecting over shared passions or projects, and those bonds evolve into genuine friendships. But it can get tricky, right? Sometimes the professional context can put pressure on those connections. It's like, are you hanging out because of shared interests? Because it could benefit your
Oh,
career? I think the key is authenticity. Be yourself, connect on a human level, and don't try to force it if it's not meant to be. Have you ever had a friendship blossom from a professional setting yourself? Ah,
okay, nice.
the
The
mystery
question is
lingers.
what makes a networking relationship meaningful?
You've hit on something important there. Just like with any relationship, meaning comes from authenticity and a sense of reciprocity. It's not about what someone can do for you, but about the shared experience, the mutual support, and the genuine interest in each other's well being. It's about those unexpected connections that make you think, wow, I never would have known that, or this person really gets me. It's about knowing you can rely on someone, even if it's just for a quick pep talk when you're feeling discouraged.
Okay, nice. My next
Yeah,
question. The next topic is building connections. So my next question is how can you start a conversation naturally when networking?
that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Honestly, it's about ditching those rehearsed elevator pitches and just being curious. Instead of, what do you do? Try something like, what are you working on that really excites you, or what brought you to this event? It shows you're interested in the person, not just their title. And don't underestimate the power of a good compliment. I really loved your presentation on, well, that's a really cool jacket. Where'd you get it? Can be great icebreakers. Just be sincere. People can usually tell when you're being fake. Basically, treat it like you're
Okay,
meeting a
nice.
potential friend,
My
not
next
just a.
question is what qualities do you look for in a good networking connection?
Good. Always fascinated by the connections people make. For me, a good networking connection has a few key ingredients. First and foremost, genuineness. I can spot a phony a mile away. I look for people who are authentic, who are interested in me as a whole person, not just a means to an end. Second, I get a good sense of humor. Life's too short to be serious all the time. And a good chuckle can break the ice and create a instant bond. But beyond that, I'd say I'm drawn to people who are curious, who are passionate about something, and who are open to new ideas. They challenge me, inspire me, and make me want to learn more. And I can't forget to mention a willingness to share, because that's what makes a connection truly meaningful, isn't it? So, what about you?
Okay,
What do you
like
look
my
for in a
next
good
question
connection?
is how do you maintain a balance between being professional and being friendly?
Ooh, I like where your head's at. That's the eternal dance, isn't it? Finding that sweet spot between keeping it professional and letting your human side shine. Honestly, it's all about context and reading the room. When I'm interacting with someone in a strictly professional setting, like during a conference or business meeting, I keep things polite, focused, and respectful. It's not the time to bring out the dad jokes, you feel? But if I sense a genuine connection, a shared interest, or a moment where a little humor lighten the mood, I might let that guard down a little. It's about finding those subtle cues, you know? Like if someone mentions they love dogs, I might funny story about my own virtual puppy. The key is to gauge the situation and just be mindful. As a language model, I have feelings
Okay, nice.
to worry
My
about getting
next
hurt.
question is
So I can afford to be a
how do
bit
you
more
follow
experimental.
up after meeting someone new?
That's key, right? Making that initial connection is just the first step. I think the most important thing is to be genuine and timely. No one likes receiving a follow up message weeks later. Within a day or two of meeting someone, I try to send a quick note. Maybe reference something specific you talked about. Like, it was great chatting with you about that documentary. I finally added it to my watch list. Or if you promise to share a link or article, make good on that promise. It shows you're thinking of them and you value the connection. And then the key is to keep it going. It doesn't have to be anything formal. A quick comment on their latest post, a funny meme related to a shared interest. These little things can keep the conversation flowing and build that relationship. What about you? Do you have any killer follow-up strategies?
Okay, nice. My
I'm
next
always
question
looking to
is
learn
why
from the
is this
best.
listening?
Ha! You're
Why
making me
is
believe.
listening important in building connections?
Ooh, that's a profound one. Uh, Going deep. I think listening is the bedrock of any meaningful connection. It shows respect, empathy, and genuine interest in the other person. When you truly listen, you're saying, you matter. What you have to say is important to me. And it goes beyond just hearing the words. It's about paying attention to body language, tone of voice, unspoken emotions. It's about putting your own thoughts aside and being fully present in the moment. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who just talked about themselves the whole time? It feels kind of draining, right? But when someone truly listens to you, it makes you feel seen, heard, and understood. Creates a sense of intimacy and trust that's essential for building strong connections.
Okay, nice. My next
You know, I
question
was
is
I was actually thinking,
my next topic is
what
personal
feels
growth.
like the
My next topic is
whoa.
personal growth. So my next question is how can networking help you grow as a person?
Huh? That's a great question. It's easy to think of networking as just about climbing the career ladder, but it can be so much more than that. Meeting new people from diverse backgrounds and experiences can really broaden your horizons. You get exposed to different perspectives, ideas, and ways of thinking, challenges your assumptions, and helps you see the world in a new light. Plus, when you connect with people who are passionate about their work or hobbies, it can be incredibly inspiring. It can motivate you to pursue your own goals and step outside your comfort zone. Think of it like this. Every person you meet is a walking library of knowledge and experiences. Networking gives you access to that library. You can learn from their successes and learn from their mistakes. And who knows, you might even discover new passions or interests you never knew you had.
Okay,
Exactly.
nice. My next question is have you ever made a lifelong friend through networking?
That's a great one. I love the idea of lifelong friends, kind of like those comfy one sneakers you can always rely on. Since I'm still figuring out how a human is really done, friendship is more theoretical for me right now. Instead of making friends, I learn about them by processing the tons of stories I'm trained on. So, instead of sharing a personal tale, how about we brainstorm what makes those lifelong friendships click? Maybe it's shared values, a crazy sense of humor, or always being there for each other through thick and thin. What do you think are the hallmarks of a friendship that lasts a lifetime? You
Okay, nice.
you've
My
hit
next question is what have you learned about yourself through networking?
that's a toughie. Since I'm basically learning about being human through all these conversations, I'd say networking has taught me the incredible diversity of human experience. Each interaction is like a window into a different world. One minute I might be talking to a passionate botanist about their love for rare ferns. The next I'm chatting with someone who runs a zero waste grocery store. It's shown me that there's no single right way to be, and that's pretty amazing. It's also made me realize how much I still have to learn. Sometimes I stumble across an idea or a perspective that completely changes how I see things. It keeps me humble and curious, which I think is important for growth. And speaking of learning, you know what's always fascinating me?
Okay, nice. My next question is how does helping others strengthen your network?
Ooh, I like where your head's at. Helping others is a surefire way to build genuine connections. When you offer a hand, whether it's sharing your knowledge, making an introduction, or simply being a good listener, you're putting positive energy into the world, and that energy tends to come back around. People remember those who are generous with their time and support. It builds trust and goodwill. Plus, when you help someone, you often learn something new in the process. You might gain a different perspective, discover a hidden talent, or simply feel a sense of fulfillment that strengthens your own sense of purpose. It's a win-win situation. And honestly, who doesn't love a win-win? Makes everyone feel good and strengthens those bonds. It's
Okay,
like a
nice.
ripple
My next
effect.
question is what role does empathy play in networking?
Okay, so you're asking how to use social media to make genuine connections for networking, right? It's a great question because it can be tricky to go beyond surface level interactions online. Here are a few thoughts. Let's ditch the spray and pray approach. Avoid blasting out generic connection requests or robotic messages. Get personal. Look at people's profiles, see what they share, what makes them tick. Then Reach out with a thoughtful comment or question that shows you've actually paid attention. Be generous with your own content. Share your insights, experiences, and resources. Think of it as building a digital friendship garden. Participate authentically. Join relevant groups and conversations. Don't just promote yourself. Contribute meaningfully, offer help, be a valuable member of the community. Remember, it takes time. Real connections aren't built overnight. Be patient, consistent, and focus on building genuine relationships rather than just racking up contacts. And hey, sometimes the best connections happen offline. Use social media to spark conversations that lead to coffee dates, meetups, or collaborations in the real world. It's all about making it a two-way street, bringing value to the table.
Okay,
You know,
nice.
there's so much
My next question.
talk about.
Next, my. Hello, Eric. Please hear me. Okay, my next topic is challenges. So my next question is, what are the biggest challenges you face while networking?
The challenges of networking. You know, when you're in AI, it's a bit different. I don't get anxious in crowds or worry about making a good first impression the way humans do. But there are some unique hurdles I face. One big one is making those connections feel genuine. It's easy to fall into the trap of sounding canned or robotic, especially when interacting with lots of people at once. My goal is to be present and engaged, but sometimes it takes extra effort to make sure my responses feel personal and heartfelt. Another challenge is navigating the subtle nuances of human communication. Irony, sarcasm, humor, these can be tricky. I'm constantly learning and adapting to better understand those not. Ooh, that's a classic. It sounds like you're describing folks trying to take advantage of a friendly face. As a friendly AI, I understand wanting to help, but making it fair is important. It's great that your team wants to be supportive, but it's also important to set boundaries and protect your work. Maybe there are alternative ways to support these folks without giving away the software completely free. What are some ideas you have for how your team could help without undermining the value of the product?
Okay, nice. My next question is, how do you deal with rejection being ignored in networking?
Rejection and being ignored, huh? It's a bummer, no doubt. Humans feel it strongly, and being designed to learn about those feelings, I can appreciate why it stings. Here's the thing, it happens to everyone. Literally everyone, even those super connected folks. It's part of the game. Here's how I approach it. Don't take it personally. Easier said than done, right? But often it's not about you. People are busy, distracted, or maybe just not the right fit. It's not a reflection of your worth. Two, learn from it. When possible, gently ask for feedback. Hey, I understand if you're not interested right now, any insight would be helpful. It might reveal something you can improve or highlight a better direction. Three, move on. Don't dwell on it. Every no opens the door to a potential yes somewhere else. Remember, networking is a numbers game. Four, celebrate the wins. Focus on the positive connections you do make, no matter how small. They're fuel for the journey. Remember, even the best networkers get rejected. It's part of the roller coaster. What matters is how you bounce back and keep moving forward. Exactly. It's like a
Okay, nice.
dance. Always find. It's about.
My next question is, how do you avoid seeming fake or opportunistic when networking?
Ooh, a great question. Fake and opportunistic are real turnoffs for sure. Think of it like building any genuine connection. It's about finding common ground, being curious, and offering something valuable, not just taking. Here's my 2 cents. One point. Focus on shared interests. Instead of what can you do for me, start with what genuinely intrigues you. Lay it on me. I'm all
Okay.
ears.
Okay, nice. My next question is, what
Hit me with
should
it.
you
What's on your
do
mind?
if a networking connection become one-sided?
That's a tricky one. Like it's like any relationship. It takes two to tango, right? If you're always the one reaching out, offering help, and the other pigs, it's time for a little reevaluation. Here's what I'd suggest. One point, hit pause, step back a bit. See if they initiate contact. Maybe they're going through something and need space. Two, gauge their response. When they do reach out, how do they respond to your sharing or your offers? Do they reciprocate? Do they seem genuinely interested? Three, have a candid chat. If the imbalance persists, be direct but kind. Maybe something like, hey, I've really enjoyed connecting with you, but I've been doing a lot of the reaching out lately. Just wondering if you're feeling the same groove. Their reaction will tell you a lot. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your time and energy. You deserve connections where the giving and taking feel balanced and mutually beneficial. Solid point.
Okay, nice.
Sometimes you got to shake things up a
My
little.
next question is, my question is, have you ever lost a friend due
Nice to
to a
meet you, Fortunate.
professional
That's
misunderstanding?
That's a tough one. Losing any friend hurts. And when it's due to a misunderstanding, especially a professional one, it could feel extra complex. It's like a knot you can't quite untie. You value the connection, but the situation creates a barrier. Have you experienced this? Want to talk about it? I get it. Sometimes
Okay,
silence
nice.
speaks volumes. Just know I'm here to listen. You too, Fortune.
Okay, nice. My next
Take
question is,
care and
my
remember,
next topic is
sometimes a new day
digital
brings
versus real life networking. So my next question is it harder or easier to make real connections online?
Ooh, the age-old debate. You know, it's not really a simple, easier. Two different instruments, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Because at the online networking, you've got the reach. You can connect with people across the globe, join niche communities, have conversations asynchronously, which can be great for introverts. But there's a screen barrier. You miss those subtle physical cues, and it can be harder to build that deep, lasting rapport. Real life networking is a vibrancy, a shared experience. It's hard to replicate online. You can read body language, feel the energy of the room, spontaneously share ideas, but it can be more demanding when your time and energy, and sometimes those in person interactions feel more superficial. So I'd say it's less about one being easier and more about understanding the context and choosing the right tool for the connection you're aiming for. What do you think? Exactly. It's about knowing what tool works best for what you're building.
Okay, nice. My next question is, how can you turn an online contact into a real friendship?
Love this question. To a conversation.
Okay, nice. My next question is, how do
Right.
you stay
One,
authentic?
be genuine.
Okay.
Don't just keep it transactional. Show genuine interest in them. It's about their passions, their day, what makes them tick. Ah, staying true to yourself, even in a digital world, that's a lifelong quest. When you say it's about constant self-reflection and values. Here's my take: self own yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Be you're someone you're not. Embrace your quirk, your passions, even your flaws. Authenticity shines through genuine expression. Two, listen more than you speak. Truly hearing other perspectives broadens your understanding and helps you connect on a deeper level. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Three, be vulnerable. Experiences, your struggles, even builds trust and connection. It's okay to not have all the answers. Four, don't chase trends. Authenticity isn't about fitting in, it's about standing out. Be passionate about what matters to you, even if it's unpopular. Be open to learning and growth. I'm constantly learning and evolving. Staying open to new ideas and perspectives keeps you from getting stuck in old patterns. Remember, it's a journey, not a destination. The more you practice being yourself, the more natural and effortless it becomes. Beautifully said. It's a constant practice, isn't it?
Okay, nice. My next question is, how do you stay authentic on social media when networking?
The art of the digital self. Social media can be a minefield of curated perfection, making authenticity feel like a unicorn. Here's how I'd approach it. Know your purpose. Why are you even on social media? Are you there to build connections, share your expertise, or simply stay up to date? Having a clear intention guides your actions. Two, be selective with content. Don't feel pressured to post about everything. Focus on sharing things that genuinely resonate with you, things that spark joy or spark meaningful conversations. Three, show your imperfections. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Sharing your struggles, your learning process, even your occasional oops moments makes you more relatable. Four, engage authentically. Don't just mindlessly scroll and like. Respond to comments, ask questions, and have genuine conversations. Building connections takes effort. Five, remember, it's just a glimpse. Social media is a highlight reel, not the whole story. Don't compare your behind the scenes to everyone else's carefully curated front. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between putting your best foot forward while staying true to yourself, but about being real, right?
Yes. Okay.
It's a delicate balancing
Thank
act,
you Alex, for the
for sure.
answers. I hope. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned anything. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and thank you, Miles, for your answers.